Okay, so you're here because you're driven. You're pushing boundaries in business, maybe coaching others to excel, or you're an athlete striving for that peak performance, and you get that lasting success isn't just about your core skills, it needs something more. Today, we're doing a deep dive into that more. We're talking mental resilience, unwavering focus, and that kind of composure you need when things get tough. Crucial stuff.
Absolutely crucial. We've all seen amazing talent just crumble under pressure, haven't we?
Yeah.
And then you see others who just consistently deliver. They seem almost unflappable. So our goal today is really exploring how you can cultivate that inner strength.
And our main guide for this is Coach Ed Padalecki. We're pulling insights from his writing, specifically brushing your brain with meditation.
Ah, Coach P. Good stuff.
Yeah, and in it, Coach Padalecki introduces us to Emily Fletcher's journey. Pretty remarkable. She went from the intense world of Broadway to being a real leader in meditation for high performers.
What's so striking about her story, and Coach Padalecki really highlights this, is how fast her burnout hit.
Right.
It wasn't this slow creep. It was like, boom, intense stress. So for her, meditation wasn't just, a casual hobby. It was a lifeline.
A total necessity. And the results. Coach P mentions her insomnia was gone after one day. It's incredibly powerful. And that experience just propelled her. She dove deep, developed the Ziva technique. And now, as Coach Padalecki notes, she works with top-tier people, Fortune 500 execs, elite athletes, influential coaches.
A real range.
Exactly. So our mission here is to pull out the practical wisdom from Coach Padalecki's writing inspired by Fletcher and figure out how meditation can give you a serious edge.
Because, let's be honest, like Coach Padalecki says, you need that mental toughness. That ability to stay sharp when everything's chaotic, to stay calm when the pressure's on. It's just non-negotiable for peak performance in any field.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Coach Ed Padalecki makes this really smart connection to something probably familiar to many listening. Mental training in sports psychology.
Right. That's not a new idea.
Not at all. The idea that your mind impacts athletic performance. That's well-established, studied for ages, and Coach Padalecki basically positions meditation as a really effective tool within that framework. A way to build mental clarity, emotional control, basically unlock peak performance.
Exactly. And it becomes really persuasive when Coach Padalecki brings up examples. They openly talk about meditation being part of their training. It really shows this isn't just about chilling out. It's about actively building a mental advantage.
Totally. Coach Padalecki points out the specific benefits they talk about, like a stronger mind-body connection, that laser focus even when the crowd's going wild, and faster recovery, not just physical, but mental recovery from the stress of competition.
And that's the key takeaway for our listeners in business or coaching, isn't it?
Absolutely. Those skills are directly transferable. Being able to focus in a huge negotiation, manage stress, leading a team through a crisis, bounce back from a setback. These are universal skills for high achievers.
Which leads us nicely into Emily Fletcher's framework, the one Coach Padalecki introduces her 3 M's of the Ziva technique. It comes from her book, Stress Less, Accomplish More.
Okay, the 3 M's. Sounds practical.
Very. It breaks down how meditation helps high performers.
All right, let's tackle them. First M, mindfulness. Now, mindfulness gets thrown around a lot. How does Fletcher, through Coach P's perspective, make it relevant for someone really pushing their limits?
Well, Coach Padalecki explains Fletcher's view of mindfulness as a really practical tool. It's about managing stress in the moment by becoming more self-aware.
Okay.
So it's learning to notice what's going on inside your thoughts, emotions, physical feelings, and also what's happening around you, but without judging it immediately, just observing. That kind of real-time awareness is gold when you're in a high-stakes meeting, coaching someone through a tough game, or even just recovering mentally after a big push.
That makes a lot of sense. Seeing the pressure without getting instantly swept away. Okay, second M, meditation itself. What's the core idea here? The main benefit.
The big one Fletcher emphasizes, and Coach Padalecki really drives this home, is deep restorative rest.
More than just feeling calm.
Yeah, feeling calm is great, a nice bonus, but the deeper impact is the consistent mental rest. Think of it like hitting reset for your brain.
Okay.
It helps your whole cognitive system recover, and that leads to better focus, more resilience to stress, sharper thinking overall, all absolutely vital for keeping up high performance long term.
So building long-term brain power, not just a quick fix. I like that, especially for those of us constantly juggling information, making big calls. All right, the final M, manifesting. This one might sound a bit out there for some.
Yeah, it sounds a little abstract.
How does Fletcher frame it, according to Coach Padalecki, so it's actually useful for people aiming for real results?
As Coach Padalecki explains it, manifesting in the Ziva way isn't just wishful thinking. It's not passive at all.
Okay.
It's an active mental training. You train your mind to clearly visualize the outcomes you want. And this is key. You align your actions today with those long-term goals.
So it's practical visualization.
Exactly. Creating a vivid mental blueprint for success and then consciously making choices that get you there. A CEO visualizing a product launch and planning the steps. A coach seeing their team hit a goal and training. An athlete picturing the win and focusing their practice.
Got it. It's like a mental discipline driving your strategy and actions.
Now, Coach Padalecki also pulls out a really crucial insight. Thoughts are not the enemy.
Oh, that's huge.
I think that's a game changer for anyone who feels intimidated by meditation, thinking they have to stop thinking.
It's totally foundational, and Coach P really emphasizes the mind thinking involuntarily to the heart beating. It just does it.
Right, you wouldn't get mad at your heart for beating. Exactly. So why get frustrated with your mind for having thoughts during meditation? The point isn't to achieve some blank state, which is pretty much impossible anyway. It's about changing your relationship with those thoughts.
Totally removes the pressure to be perfectly still mentally, which for busy minds feels impossible.
Right.
Instead, you just learn to notice the thoughts, acknowledge them, and gently bring your attention back, which ties directly into that sports psychology angle Coach Padalecki mentions.
It really does. And Coach Padalecki connects this specifically to what psychologists call attentional control. Think about high-pressure situations, a critical board meeting, a split-second coaching decision, the last play of a game. Your ability to stay focused on what matters and filter out distractions is everything. Meditation, as Coach P explains it, directly strengthens that attention muscle.
And Coach Padalecki uses that strong phrase, rewiring the brain for high performance through meditation. Can you break down some of those specific brain benefits he talks about?
Sure. First off, better focus and concentration. Coach Padalecki points out that regular meditation actually strengthens the prefrontal cortex.
The brain's CEO, basically.
Pretty much. It handles executive functions. Strengthening it leads to real improvements in decision-making, thinking clearly, being more productive, all essential for high performers. Imagine a leader making a tough call under pressure, a coach analyzing game film fast, an athlete staying locked in. A stronger prefrontal cortex helps all of that.
Definitely. A sharper mind is a huge advantage. What's the next neurological benefit Coach Padalecki highlights?
Reduced performance anxiety. This is interesting because Coach Padalecki explains there's a physiological effect. Meditation helps lower cortisol levels, the main stress hormone.
The science bit.
Right. So by cultivating more calm under pressure, you're better able to make smart, strategic choices instead of just reacting out of anxiety. Think about giving a huge presentation, or a coach talking to the team after a bad loss, or an athlete at a crucial moment. Managing that anxiety is key.
Makes total sense. Staying strategic, not reactive. And the third area of brain rewiring, Coach P mentions.
Increased emotional control. And Coach Padalecki uses a great analogy here. Mental weightlifting.
I like that.
Just like lifting weights builds physical muscle, regular meditation builds your capacity to manage your emotions better. It stops things like frustration or doubt from completely derailing you. It's about building emotional resilience for the inevitable ups and downs.
Mental weightlifting, that really lands. It shows it takes effort, like physical training. Okay, and the fourth way, Coach Padalecki says meditation rewires the brain.
Speeding up recovery, Coach Padalecki makes a really smart comparison to physical recovery for athletes.
Right, rest days.
Exactly. Meditation provides kind of active recovery for the brain. It lets it rest, process things, recuperate from mental effort. This reduces mental fatigue and, importantly, lowers the risk of burnout, which is a massive issue for ambitious people.
So true. Your brain needs rest days, too.
It absolutely does.
Okay, so the benefits are clear, compelling, as Coach Padalecki lays them out. Then he shifts gears, right? He gives a direct call to action for the listener. How does he suggest actually starting?
His advice is refreshingly simple, actually. Coach Ed Padalecki just says, set aside 5 or 10 minutes a day. That's it.
Just 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah. And he stresses you don't need fancy apps or complex techniques right away. Just find a quiet spot, sit comfortably, and be willing to try. It really lowers the barrier to entry for busy people thinking they don't have time.
That's really helpful. Makes it feel way less intimidating. And what about expectations?
He really emphasizes letting go of ideas about what meditation should feel like. It's not about forcing silence.
Which we already said is tough.
Right.
Yeah.
It's more about just noticing your thoughts when they pop up, observing them without judgment, without getting carried away, and then gently bringing your focus back maybe to your breath or some other anchor point. It's that act of noticing and returning that's the real practice.
Crucial point. Takes the pressure off trying to achieve perfect stillness. It's about training attention, not hitting some magic state. And what does Coach P suggest doing after a session, even a short one?
Coach Padalecki suggests just a quick moment of reflection. Ask yourself, how do I feel now? Any small shifts in mood, energy, focus. He even suggests maybe jotting it down in a journal over time. It helps you tune into the benefits, even if they seem subtle at first.
Building that self-awareness, noticing the impact. Got it. And what's Coach Padalecki's final, maybe most critical piece of advice for making this stick, making it part of a high-performance life?
Consistency. Coach Padalecki hammers this home. Consistency over perfection. Like any training, physical conditioning, ongoing learning, skill development, it's the cumulative effect of regular practice that matters most.
Makes sense.
Showing up consistently, even for just a few minutes, is way more valuable than trying to force occasional long, perfect sessions. It's about putting in those mental reps regularly.
That's super encouraging. Takes the pressure off needing hour-long sits right away. And ultimately, the payoff Coach Padalecki sees from this consistent brain brushing.
He circles back to those core benefits we've talked about. Much better focus, clearer decision-making, and the ability to not just cope with pressure, but actually thrive under it. It's about building that mental edge that separates consistent high performers from the rest.
Okay, so wrapping this up, our deep dive into Coach Ed Padalecki's insights, drawing from Emily Fletcher's story and the Ziva technique, really shows meditation as this powerful, accessible tool. It's not about escaping reality or emptying your mind. It's about actively, like Coach Padalecki says, brushing your brain, strengthening those core mental skills essential for sustained success, whether you're in business, coaching, or sports.
Understanding those elements, mindfulness, the rest from meditation, the focus from manifesting, and just taking that consistent, non-judgmental approach Coach P recommends. That's how you start building that vital mental resilience and unlock new levels.
Right. So here's a final thought to leave you with. What if you intentionally carved out just 5 minutes a day for this brain brushing? How might that consistent mental training compound over time? What could that resilience unlock for your performance? Something to think about.
To our listeners, thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We hope this gives you some food for thought as you continue on your journey.